This right here, everything he's saying is victim mentality. The American people need to get rid of this mindset. Get rid of it because it's very negative and divisive to everybody in the country.
He also mentioned at the same time that there were going to be statues of Kobe Bryant and Muhammad Ali. So it just seems a little hypocritical that you would be doing everything in your power to sort of outlaw the teachings of what, say, a Muhammad Ali stood for. Like, are you going to tell people that he stood against war, that he stood against these very progressive civil rights issues? That doesn't seem to be the part of it. And what I noticed there from that clip is that he had to read letter by letter about what these people, what these great Americans have done in terms of progress for our country, because it's not something he's familiar with and not something that is natural for him. So I consider this to be an insult, a slap in the face. And frankly, all the people that attended this, look, I guess God bless you if you've never been to the White House and maybe you looked at it as some kind of great experience. But everything this president has stood for and done in the last decade or so has been a complete rejection of what Black history is.
Abel, how do you...
What a freaking crybaby. There are so many American figures in this country in the past that have done so many great things in this country. It's hard to remember every single type of accomplishment these people have done. Yes, Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali. I mean, they're speaking of some great people that have done some great impacts on American citizens and the world. And this lady is huffing and puffing because the president had to read from a piece of paper and he couldn't say it just from the top. The president has a million things going on, and having a piece of paper and reading and still showing some type of recognition is not a bad thing, not an insult. This lady is a moron. Huffing and puffing. Like,
you square what Jamel is saying there, that this White House, this administration has spent so much time, especially in the last month, denigrating diversity as even a concept. And actually, let me just go ahead and play this because I think it's instructive to hear exactly what they have been saying. Listen.
I think the single dumbest phrase in military history is our diversity is our strength.
My son is in a public school.
I agree.
He takes a class called African American History. If you're running an African American history class, could you perhaps be in violation of this court order, of this executive order?
I'm not quite certain, and I'd like to look into it further and get back to you on that.
You can have DEI in water coolers and universities. I disagree with that. But lives aren't impacted with DEI at universities. It is impacted here. I just want the best and the brightest, keeping Americans safe.
Okay, so you say that, and then you throw a Black History Month event, and people are supposed to then say, well, it all doesn't matter. He really does care about the history of this country, which includes people. It's Black History Month today and this month, but it could be Hispanic History Month.
No, there's not going to be a Hispanic History Month. I don't want that shit. I don't want that. There shouldn't even be a Black History Month. There shouldn't be any Race History Month. It's all American History Month. Every single month of the year should be American History Month. That's it, point blank. These people here want to use division by adding race being taught in schools. This is how we split people apart into categories. Division. Stop it. These people are whining about it that we don't have racism. Morons.
Women's History Month, all these diverse people.
Absolutely.
What are Americans supposed to think?
Women's History Month. Are you kidding me? Oh, okay, now we need a Men's History Month. Now we need a little girl's history month. Now we need a little boy's history month. Now we need an infant history month. Like, shut up.
Look, President Trump is not a traditional politician. I mean, he never has been, he never will be. So today when we saw the celebration in the White House, I thought that was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was a packed house there. I mean, Tiger Woods, I can go on and on of all the people that were there. He made it very clear today, Abby. He said, Black Americans are legends. I'm going to put some statues up. Kobe Bryant.
But he's governing in exactly the opposite way.
I think what he's trying to do is, on one end, he knows he's got a huge deficit. He's trying to make cuts and move the business, this big government forward.
I'm not talking about the cuts. I'm talking about the denigration of people based on this idea of DEI. They tried to blame a plane crash on diversity.
Yeah, I don't actually agree with that, to be very sincere with you. I think he looks at DEI more of a, let's put that aside and let's do everything on merit. He's made it very clear. He's talked about merit all along. So I really think, Abby, that what happened today was a beautiful thing.
So I don't. I think he's trying to gaslight us. I mean, come on, man. You have got to be kidding.
So if he didn't have it today, you would be back.
He's trying to gaslight us. First, he said he doesn't want anybody in government to celebrate Black History Month, and then he says, "Okay, I'm going to put on an event about Black History Month, and I'm going to be the speaker." There aren't any Black people, really saying anything about what's happening with him. He tried to use DEI as literally a racial slur against us, as if Black people are benefiting from anything in this country and getting anything we're not qualified for and don't have to work twice as hard for. Black people have to live in the real world. When the cops come, we're scared because we might not come out of it alive. We walk into a store, if they let us in, we're followed around. We don't get loans when we have the same credit score as everybody else. We might not come out of it alive. Anything in this country and getting anything we're not qualified for and don't have to work twice as hard for. Black people have to live in the real world. When the cops come, we're scared because
he just said when the cops come, we're scared. Okay, number one question, stop right there. Why are the cops even coming? Are you committing a crime? Are you doing something you are not supposed to be doing? Are you violating a law? It's the only reason cops come. So maybe correct that, and maybe the cops won't come. Maybe escalations won't happen. Find the root of the problem, handle it, and you wouldn't have lives being taken and then people protesting because they think it's injustice of police brutality. It's a bunch of BS. These things he's saying is a bunch of BS.
Because we might not come out of it alive. We walk into a store, if they let us in.
This right here, everything he's saying is victim mentality. The American people need to get rid of this mindset. Get rid of it. Because it's very negative and divisive to everybody in the country.
We're followed around. We don't get loans when we have the same credit score as everybody else because we're Black. We have to live in the real world. You can't gaslight us. We know reality when we see it. This is not real. This is a joke. That's what that is.
The Black man in a nice suit on live TV is saying, this is a joke for Black America. Well, how did you get here? How did you get in this position? Why are you here? If it's so degrading and it's so hard on Black America, you made it. How did you do it? Why don't you tell your fellow Black men and women on how to do it? It's going to be a struggle just like anybody else, regardless what race you are.
I mean, personally, Tiger Woods was speaking at the podium today.
Tiger Woods said he's Kablasian.
Right. I thought he would be there for Combination History Month.
One of the things also, apparently the Defense Department's getting ready to make some cuts. We talked about it earlier. One of the cuts rumored to be happening is of CQ Brown, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, shockingly, a Black man. This is not surprising to me because I know the conversation in MAGA world about that. But the idea that maybe one of the first acts of the new defense secretary would be to ask the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, who is a Black man who a Republican senator just today said has done a very good job, and he would be surprised to hear if he were eliminated in some of these cuts. Mm-hmm. Kevin Kramer said a month ago that he knows CQ Brown pretty well. They've had disagreements, but he thinks he's doing a great job. Why would this even be a conversation?
Well, I think Hegseth has sort of changed his tune on it a bit, and they seem to be working together. In the early onset, right after his confirmation, he gave him a vote of approval out loud to the press corps. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to jump to a conclusion on that. And also, I hope that even if we have political disagreements with somebody in history, a figure of history, we can still recognize their greatness. And I think that's very important. So I was glad to see Donald Trump highlight, yes, great athletes, but yes, Rosa Parks, yes, Frederick Douglass. I think that's great. And we can have the debate over DEI, and I think I can go in a million different directions. I think when it comes to the celebration of Black history, I think the president's signal today was he doesn't want to see it erased from our conversation in our country.
But that's not what his actions say.
I'm actually kind of mad that it got cut off right there when she said, well, that's not what his actions are showing, I believe she was going to say. It cut off the end of the video. But, I mean, if she would have done a little bit of her homework, she would know the actions Donald Trump has done before he was even president. As a businessman, what he has done for Black Americans. What has he done?
Nelson Mandela and 80 of his constituents were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
The United States government wasn't helping him. No one was helping him. You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah.
How was somebody, and it's crazy because you can talk about anything, and why is it hard for you to talk about the things you've done? It runs in your family. Your father helped build a synagogue. I mean, why do we not know those things?
It's something that I've never, I love doing it. I don't need praise for it. I don't, we all like a certain level of praise, but I've never, I just like helping people. I help a lot of people, and I enjoy doing it, and I never talk about it. It's nice that you bring it up. I also think it's not a narrative that the press likes talking about, for me.
I actually owe you an apology before we start. I've been very critical about you, how you fight all through the campaigns. I voted for you because I like policy. Right. I didn't know you as a man. And I think when you don't understand what a man fights for, you can get lost, especially with all the noise we're seeing from fake news, et cetera, who created these pictures from you. So Gutfeld show's over, cameras are off, we go backstage, and I expected you to be like every politician or anybody I've ever celebrity I've bodyguarded for, and you met my family, and you talked to my daughter. Mm-hmm. My daughter is 10 years old, her name is Georgie. You guys talked for 20 minutes. If nobody knew, you could have been her grandfather, and you were talking about her horses and her dreams, and I was sitting there and I was like, I have been so wrong about this man because I never understood why you fight the way you fight. You're a family man.
President Trump taps a Mid-South woman to a newly named position in his administration. He announced today Alice Marie Johnson of Memphis will be his new pardon czar, a woman who says it is nothing short of a miracle she would go from a jailhouse to the White House.
She spent 22 years in prison, 22 years. She had another 22 years left. Can you believe it? And I pardoned her, and it was one of the best pardons.
President Donald Trump created a new position in his administration and tapped Alice Marie Johnson to head it. Just hours ago, he announced the Memphis woman would be the nation's first pardon czar.
I'm not only humble, I'm very proud to serve the community that really I came from the incarcerated community.
Johnson, arrested in 1993, was serving a life sentence for a drug conviction. Kim Kardashian pleaded her case, and Trump commuted her sentence, freeing her from prison. She received a full pardon and had the conviction wiped from her record eventually. Since then, she's been advocating for others.
I submitted over 100 clemency and pardon petitions to the White House after I gained my own freedom. So to be trusted in a position like this to serve the nation, all communities, is really a privilege for me.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, guys.